Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, other than the fact that we're halfway through July. It's the 15th day. How the heck did that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just June the other day. I mean, this is nuts. I got a good guest coming up today, and it seems like we just talked to him the other day as well. Jordan Goodman. I talk to him about once a month, kind of get up to date on financial things in the world. Last time we talked, it was about credit cards. Today, I'm going to ask him how all this stuff over in England has affected the dollar here, and just kind of see what people should be doing with their money, what kind of impact those decisions in England have made here. I think that'll be a good thing to ask about. Also, take a listen to this. In Australia, scientists came across a toad the size of a small dog.
Whoa.
Woof, woof. Big toad. It's huge. I think his name was Kermit. I'm not sure. According to a new study, definitely is the most misspelled word in English language.
What?
On the list were also broccoli, phlegm, bureaucracy, indict, consensus, unnecessary, sacrilegious, and prejudice. All of those are hard words to spell. Heidi's a really good speller, so she thinks all of those are wrong.
I don't think any of those are
I spell
right.
definitely wrong all the time. Another one I cannot spell is entrepreneur, and I is one.
That one is a difficult. Now that's a difficult
I'm
word
like
to spell.
E-N-T. I don't know what I am. I'm a businessman.
Yeah,
right.
that was difficult. The rest of those, I don't think so.
Got
but-
some fun stuff to talk about that's happening today. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, today is Friday, July the 15th. So for a lot of people, today is payday. That's really cool. It's halfway through the month. But today is also National Give Something Away Day. So
Okay.
maybe if you've got stuff that you want to get rid of, I've got a bunch of books that maybe I should give away. Got a lot of them.
You do have a lot of
Should
books
I do
that could
that
be given
today?
away.
Maybe
That'd
today
be
would be
super.
a good day. Today is National Pet Fire Safety Day today. So
Okay.
today would be the day that you think about, if I were to have a fire, how would I make sure my pets get out
That
safely?
your pet gets. Yep.
Yeah, so teach your pets the fire safety routes.
Yep.
And
How to use the fire pole.
stop, drop, and roll, spot, roll. It's also St. Swithin's Day today. It is Be a Dork Day today. I celebrate that one every day. I'm kind of a dork all the time. And then the last one, but certainly not the least one, this is the one I'm going to certainly celebrate. It is Gummy Worm Day today. I like gummy
I'm
worms.
not a huge fan of
Here's
gummy
the
worms.
thing that's neat. When we had a young man from our church that lived with us for a short while, and he taught me a neat trick. Put gummy worms or gummy bears in the freezer. I'd never heard of that before. He did that, and I was like, why are there gummy worms in the freezer? And they're like, oh, those are Tyson's. I'm like, okay, does he know they're gummy worms? And I tried one. I was like, that's really kind of cool. So if you've never done that before, there's an interesting thing to think about. Again,
It might make the texture better. That's what I don't like
It's
about them is the texture.
Gummy Worm Day today. Again,
I guess I
it's-
really don't need to force myself to like gummy worms. It's not like they're good for me. So I'm pretty good.
If only you ate more gummy worms.
Yeah. I think I'm probably good.
Thanks for listening on this Friday, the 15th day of July.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. This sounds ridiculous, but it's absolutely true. And there are some people out there who will remember this. These will be people who are a little bit older. They will remember that at one point, cigarettes were prescribed by doctors. I know nowadays that is just the weirdest thing in the world to
They
think
were
of.
prescribed to my grandmother
Yeah.
during pregnancy because she would get sick every time she was around somebody who was smoking, and the doctor told her to smoke while she was pregnant.
Now, I want to make sure that we start this break off with this. I am not a proponent of smoking. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was a little kid, both my parents smoked. My mom smoked and my dad smoked. My mother quit smoking for Lent one year and never started again, which was awesome. I was so proud of her. And my dad quit smoking too, but he quit smoking the day he died when he was only 49. So way too young, and very much had a lot to do with that. So steer clear if you can. But it says, can cigarettes be healthy? Well, their ads used to say they were. And if you're under the age of 50, 55, you probably don't know about any of this, unless, of course, you're like me.
Unless your grandparents have told you the stories.
Or like me, I'm a nostalgia nut. So I used to listen to like old-time radio shows, and they were almost all of those were sponsored by cigarette companies. Yeah. And you can't advertise cigarettes on the radio now.
No.
It's illegal. Has been since the 70s. But it's hard to believe that there were prominent cigarette advertising slogans. One was "Just what the doctor ordered." That's one of the slogans that a cigarette company used to use for L&M cigarettes. I don't think that's even around anymore. If they are, I guess again, I'm not a smoker, so I don't know. Maybe they are. I haven't been looking in that aisle a lot. And then another one says, "More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette." That was another slogan from back in the day. So it's interesting how far we've come. And this, I'm going to find it and I'm going to post it on our Facebook page because people won't believe that it's true unless they see it for themselves. There was actually an advertisement back in the day from the Flintstones.
Oh, yeah.
The Flintstones, where they were smoking.
I remember that.
On the cartoon.
I remember seeing that.
And I'm going to throw that.
Like from when I was a kid.
But. Yeah, at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I'm also, when I do that, I'm going to put a toll-free number that you could call if you'd like help quitting, because the quit line, I have to look it up. I used to have it memorized because I would give it to people all the time. But I'll put that on our Facebook page as well. So if maybe you're trying to find some help to quit, maybe that can help you. Thank you again for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. And you know it's true, by the way, because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. William Vines rushed into a New York police station, told the officers on duty that two men in a BMW tried to cut him off in traffic, and they waved a gun at him. And in fact, he thought they were still waiting for him outside. When the officers went out to check on the situation, they found two men trying to break into the trunk of William's Malibu right there in front of the police station. It's pretty gutsy.
Yeah.
After arresting them, the officers decided to take a little look in the trunk to see what were these guys after. Maybe Williams shouldn't have informed the police. His trunk was filled with about $500,000 of cocaine. Yeah. By the way, he was arrested as well. So.
Yeah.
Why were they chasing you? I have no idea. No clue what they were after. Like, I cut them off in traffic, and now they're trying to kill me. Well, then again, they were also trying to get $500,000 worth of cocaine out of my trunk. So maybe that's what it was. Kids, this is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
I don't know how many times we've read about this type of thing, but I know it's probably 4 or 5 times now. This is a story about a guy who got a bad haircut and went completely ballistic. A 26-year-old man faces 5 charges after losing his temper over a bad haircut in Canada. This happened in Winnipeg.
Okay, I guess it depends on how bad the haircut was.
The man got his haircut at a salon in the mall there on Friday. Unhappy with it, he went back on Saturday and said, "Hey, can I get a refund?" And they said, "Well, let me just see if I can fix your hair." So then they cut it and made it even worse. He was even more displeased. And he said, I just want to get a refund. And the salon employee refused. He allegedly threatened the employee.
Oh.
Mall security tried to escort him out. He punched one of them in the face, kicked over the other one. While the police were coming, while they were waiting for them to arrive, he knocked over several display stands, caused over $1,000 in damages, and he's been charged. So
he should have thought thought that through, because now he's going to have a mug shot taken with that horrible haircut.
And a record, that's the one I was thinking of. And a fine, of course, over $1,000 in damages. So I don't know. Bad idea. Don't do that. But we do have your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. According to a study, children who learn with no shoes on are more likely to behave better and get good grades than fellow students in footwear.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently when you get to school, you're supposed to take off your shoes. I wonder if this has anything at all to do with the fact that, you have nice shoes and I have cheap shoes, if it has anything to do with that. Because I remember when I was a kid, 1985, maybe 84, when the Air Jordans came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there were kids in our class they all had the Air Jordans. Now, I grew up in a family with 6 kids, and we didn't have a lot, so I didn't have Air Jordans. And I remember they were trying to, make me feel bad because I didn't have Air Jordans. And I was like, I really don't care. I walk on these things. It does not matter to me. But it stuck with me all these years later. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
So you might not have thought it bothered you at the time, but it clearly did, because I have heard this story I don't know how many times.
But I said, because it really didn't bother me.
Because it was just honestly, one jerk that picked on you about your shoes. And
But here's the good news.
You'll be eating cereal. I didn't have Air Jordans.
I don't do that. I would be proud to say I've never owned Air Jordans. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me.
I'll get you some Air Jordans for Christmas. Honey.
Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I don't want any. I like my Vans, so I'm good. But anyway, I wonder if that has anything to do with it. We've spent way more time on these 2 lines. This was supposed to be a quick story. Hey, don't drink and tip. That's the moral of the story after a man left a waiter a $1,000 tip.
I've accidentally tipped way too big many times. I get up in the morning, I look at my checkbook, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Apparently that was a good meal. I don't know.
No, I have though. You can't do math when you're intoxicated.
It wasn't $1,000 though, was it?
No, but it's been like 50.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, this happened at Denver's Thylicious restaurant. I don't know if I said it.
Thylicious.
Thylicious maybe. I bet it's Thylicious. That's probably what it is. Anyway, that's better than Thylicious. That's a whole different restaurant.
That's a different facility. And that probably wasn't a tip.
Well, the waiter immediately took this plus-size tip to the owners. They held on to it, quote-unquote, just in case. And it was a smart move. The next morning, the man sobered up and came in, hat in hand, and said, can I get that back? I'll put a link on our Facebook page if you'd like to read more on that. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. More older Americans are currently employed than ever before, and 12% say they'll never retire. I remember a time in my life where I said, I never want to retire.
We're going to retire.
Now, someday I plan on retiring. I might be 95
maybe
when
tomorrow.
It happens. No. You're going to finally retire one of these days. Yeah, you're 95, Grandpa. 2 remaining presidential candidates are busy preparing for their conventions, but there's at least one guy who's offering Donald Trump an idea for a running mate. Have you read about this?
I don't know.
Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee said, well, I'm not really interested in being a running mate, but Mr. Trump, you should pick your daughter Ivanka. He said his best running mate, by the way, would be Ivanka. He said, I don't know if that would pass muster, probably not, but I don't know if I've ever met a more composed, brilliant, beautiful in every way person, end quote. So if nothing else...
That's true. Just from what I've seen of her on television, she is just very classy all the way through.
So anyway, what would you think of a Trump ticket? That would probably not... It's never happened before.
I don't think that's going to happen either. I can't imagine. Well, first of all, that she would even want the job.
You never know. But I think it's kind of an interesting concept. Britain's National Health Service is using typists in India to transcribe... I can't even read this without laughing. Transcribe information from doctors. It's really sad because this is scary, but it's funny.
Holy cow.
And things are getting lost in translation. A diagnosis of Phlebas left leg. And they're like, what? Phlebas left leg? And it was flea bit his left leg. But they had phlebitis as one word. Like F-P-H-L. So they're trying to... They talk into a little... Because their handwriting is so bad. They talk into a recorder, and they have people in India that are transcribing this.
Oh, no.
And it's getting even worse. Eustachian tube malfunction became... Euston Station tube malfunction. Baloney amputation became baloney amputation. Amputate his baloney. A spokesperson for the Medical Secretaries Association says, well, it seems funny, but they mistake things like 15 milligrams for 50 milligrams of your drug.
That is not good. We need to... Yeah, that's something we might not want to outsource.
Yeah, they're saying this could be really, really, really scary.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for your Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We have Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man, on the way.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. We've got a special guest joining us halfway through the month of July. We've got Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man, and we like to connect with him about once a month to kind of find out what's going on in the financial world. Jordan, how are you, sir?
Great to be with you, John.
Well, it's good to have you on the program. Last time we talked a lot about credit cards and ways that people could maybe trim some credit card expenses and get themselves in a better situation with credit cards. But today we're going to talk about the environment that we live in today and where people can maybe put their money to make sure that it's first of all safe, but also earning them the very best interest they can possibly get. Let's first of all take a quick snapshot of what's happening in the financial world.
It's been a dramatic change since we talked about a month ago, John.
Yeah.
Which is that the so-called Brexit vote happened, where the British voted to remove themselves from the European Union, the 52-48 vote. Nobody was expecting that to win. Everybody thought that they would remain in the European Union, but they voted out, and so the markets immediately plunged dramatically. We lost $3 trillion in market value within the first 3 or 4 days after that happened. And then everything reversed. The market soared right back up again. It's just very, very strange. Because, all right, well, it's uncertain, but I guess we'll get used to it. We'll adapt to it.
And the craziest thing to me was the biggest Google search in England the week after the vote was, what is the EU? They didn't even know what they were voting for.
Yeah, what is it that we just voted on?
Yeah, how crazy is that?
Totally crazy. It was the people who voted to leave were emotional, and the people who voted to stay were rational.
Yeah.
Okay? Those the people who voted to leave were, I don't want this big European Union bureaucracy in Brussels telling me what to do. And frankly, immigration was a big part of it. They did not want people coming in from Syria, Libya, and Iraq, and all places going through Europe. And once you're in the European Union, the 28 countries, there's free movement of people.
Yeah.
So the British did not like that. So I think those are the two big factors that made people vote to leave. But after they vote, as you said, they have no idea. What did we just do? What was that?
Yeah. Over in the United States, how does that affect us financially now?
A lot of ways. The first thing is you're going to continue to see a massive flow of money from Europe and Britain into the United States as a safe haven, because it's really unclear what's going to be happening in Britain going forward here. So that's already happened to some extent, and that has pushed down U.S. interest rates to the lowest level in modern times. Okay, 1.3% interest rate on a 10-year Treasury bond. We've never seen anything like this done, ever.
And they haven't been extremely great lately anyway, but this is even worse.
Lower. That's great. And some people are saying, and I agree, that rates could go to 1% or below on a 10-year Treasury in the United States. Unbelievable. Now, this last week, the 20-year Japanese bond went to minus 1%. 20-year. Okay. And the 10-year bond in Germany and Britain and France are all in minus territory. The latest numbers I saw, $12 trillion in bonds around the world are trading at negative interest rates.
Wow.
Literally, you give them $1, you get back 99 cents on the dollar. You don't earn anything. You lose a certain amount. It is kind of an Alice in Wonderland world. That is very strange, but that's the reality of the situation today.
So why in the world would people do that? If they know they're going to lose money, is it because they think the security is worth losing that bit?
Correct. Now, they fly to the most safe places, U.S. Treasuries, German bonds, Japanese bonds, Swiss bonds. The Swiss interest rates are now like minus 3%. Huh. I give you $1, I know for sure I'm going to get back 97 cents on my dollar. Is that crazy or what?
That is absolutely crazy. Now, hopefully you've got some good news. There are places that have better interest rates than negative 3%, right?
Absolutely, yes. I've mentioned on your show before and helped a lot of your folks. There's something called commercial mortgage bridge loans, and that's a way of earning a 6% yield in the U.S. only, very safely. You get monthly checks, get your money back at the end of 1 year with no fees whatsoever. The website for that would be commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. And what they're doing is they're lending money domestically to commercial real estate projects of various types that need the money to renovate or improve themselves. They pay the interest. The project gets done. You get your money back. You move on to the next one. It's a very safe place to earn 6%.
And it's really cool because you're also helping a business grow. And a lot of the time when these businesses are growing, the money that they're getting to renovate and do this, they're employing people. So this is just a good thing all around. At a time when people are saying, hey, I want to grow my business. I want to hire more people. And you're able to help them do that and make some money in the process, too. It looks to me like everybody wins in that situation.
It is a win-win. You're right. Because what's happening is because of the Dodd-Frank and other financial regulations in America, it's really, really, really difficult to get a loan from a bank these days. So in the past, the banks might have made these loans for commercial property renovation, but very, very difficult to get today. So these people, instead of giving up on their project, take out a commercial mortgage bridge loan. They might pay a little bit of a higher rate for a short period of time, but they get their project done, and it pays off for them. So you're exactly right. It helps entrepreneurs and real estate owners improve their property in a way that's just not going to happen otherwise.
Nice. And I'll make sure I put all of this on our Facebook page to make it easy for people to find as well. But that one was commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com.
Correct. And it's helped a lot of your listeners in the past, because this is a time I think rates are going to stay very, very low for a long time, John.
Yeah.
Now, what we talked about was the 10-year Treasury at 1.3. If you go to money market funds, CDs, checking accounts, savings accounts, zero. And as far as the eye can see, it's going to be zero. So, people need an alternative to, as you say, earn a decent yield and still have their principal be quite safe.
Exactly. Again, I'll put that on our website to make it really easy for people to find. Are there other areas that you're letting people know about right now, or is that kind of the best one that's available right now?
Well, I think that's for earning a safe yield.
Yeah.
I mean, the other yield-oriented investments, things like real estate investment trusts, utilities, done very well.
Very good.
Interest rates fall. Those continue to do well because they're quite stable. And those high yields really are very attractive. You can get 5-6% on those things as opposed to zero or a lot of stocks, with just growth only, pay no dividends. So I think this is a long-term trend. I do not think the Federal Reserve is going to be raising rates for the rest of 2016, which earlier this year, remember in January, they were talking about raising rates 4 times.
Yeah.
With Brexit, no way that's going to happen. No possible way.
All right. Well, now we know. And Jordan Goodman, thank you again for chatting with us, sir. It's always a pleasure to talk, and we learned quite a bit. And, sometimes the information you share with us is a little scary, talking about financial things and what could happen, the doom and gloom. That's kind of scary, but I'm glad that we always at least have a silver lining in there somewhere, a place that people can go and something they can do to make sure they take care of their financial house.
Absolutely. In the financial world, there's always something you can do about the news, one way or the other. You can get scared and go into a hole, or you can actually do something. I always try to give specific practical things people can do, and I'm always glad to answer their emails as well at moneyanswers.com.
Again, Jordan Goodman and his website, moneyanswers.com. And I'll share the site. Like I said, I'll have that on our Facebook page as well. But since there's just one, we can just remind you that it's commercialmortgagebridgeloans.com. Jordan, thanks again. We'll talk again next month.
All right. Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Appreciate it as well. Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers man. Again, his website, moneyanswers.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show. Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottopool.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Paul Reiser played the piano on Mad About You for the theme song. I did not know that.
I didn't know that
I
either.
knew Kelsey Grammer played the piano and sang for Frasier's
I've always
theme song.
liked Paul Reiser.
Yeah, he doesn't do a whole lot these days. Neat guy, though. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The pound key that we call it, but the hashtag for kids, you know what it's really called?
What?
The octotroph.
I did not know that.
Octotroph. Hashtags Octotroph.
There you go.
I don't know if there's that's probably hashtag Octotroph. Would that be the right way? I don't know. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What is that, John?
The only domestic animal not mentioned in the Bible is the cat. And that's why some people think cats are evil. It wasn't mentioned in the Bible.
I think cats are evil.
Oh, come on. You're allergic to cats. That's your problem with cats. Moving right along. Hey, you know the little dot over the letter I? You know what that thing is called?
No.
It's called a tittle. Yeah, it's a little tittle right over the eye there. Okay. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The average woman's purse weighs 7 pounds. I think you are above average some days.
I don't think so. Some days, like if I have to jam all of your stuff in there,
we're going to weigh that sucker, because I think there have been times I had to carry your purse out. First of all, I feel like a fool because I'm carrying it. Second of all, my right arm gets tired. I'm like, I got to switch over to certainly not going to put it on my shoulder. All right. Thanks for listening to a couple of fun facts for you on a Friday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. It is the 15th of July, cruising right through this month. I cannot believe how fast this month has gone. I have a list for you.
Payroll today.
Oh, hey. Do you think maybe I'll have... if there's any left,
nothing
I get some,
for
right?
you. No.
No check for you.
No check for you.
Things a grown man should never have from Men's Health. You ready for this?
Yes.
A black eye. Now, unless...
Yeah, that's true. If you're a gentleman...
Unless the rim hit your face mid-dunk... you shouldn't have a black eye, because you should be, as a grown man, smart enough to talk your way out of a fight rather than swing your way out of a fight. A witty email signature. It says quotes and song lyrics should not be, those are for like toasts and karaoke. They should not be in your email signature.
Agreed.
Especially if it's something to do with business. Yeah.
Yeah.
PlayStation thumb. When relaxing, grown men can behave like children, but don't spend so much time doing it that you're getting, it's a thing called from playing video games too much. Yeah. Next thing is a keychain with a bottle opener. If you're a grown man, you should not.
What? Oh, come on.
No, you shouldn't have that. Another thing on the list of stuff from Men's Health that a grown man should never have is a Lucky shirt. I went out and bought a Lucky shirt at, what's that?
You bought it just for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that's for that thing. But it says on it, this is my Lucky shirt. Yeah. I don't even know where that is now. Did you get rid of that?
I did not.
I haven't seen it since, I don't know.
It's probably in your
St.
drawer.
Patrick's Day. Another thing is an unstamped passport. If you are an adult, you should be going places.
We both have unstamped passports.
They're stamped. They're just
about ready to expire.
Old.
No, they're unstamped. Our passports have not been used. We paid for them and we didn't go anywhere, and they're going to expire.
Well, we'll go somewhere. Do we need a passport to go to Canada? No. Things grown men should never have: less than $20 in his wallet. You should always have at least enough money to pay for coffee or whatever. You should always have a little something in there. The need to quote movies like The Big Lebowski, Caddyshack, Superbad. Hey, those are all my favorite movies to quote. It says reciting someone else's lines reminds people that you don't have the wit to write your own stuff. Code words for ugly women or for anything. You shouldn't use code words if you're a grown-up. Nerf hoops in your living room. I can see that.
Yeah.
A grown man should not have a secret handshake. Yeah. A grown man should not have drinking glasses with logos, especially if those have McDonald's Hamburglar logos. Hey, we have some of those.
We don't have Hamburglar.
What are ours? Oh, they're the Muppets.
Ours are the Muppets.
Yeah, well, that's completely different then.
That is completely different.
And the final one. So a recent story with the phrase, so then I said to the police officer, because if you're an adult, you shouldn't be getting in trouble. So there you go. According to Men's Health, they say those are things a grown man shouldn't.
And that's what you're going to say. So then I said to the police officer, thank you so much for all that you do, because I appreciate you.
I've actually gone out of my way to say that.
I appreciate everything that you do, and I appreciate you putting your life on the line for me.
There you go. See, now that's a good story.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this, my life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
This is kind of a bizarre story because I just don't understand how this could happen. A couple of months after undergoing a knee surgery, a Michigan woman was telling her doctor, I'm really having trouble swallowing. A year later, 80-year-old Alice Hoppy complained again that I've been really struggling with this. I've been choking on stuff. 4 months later, so now we're a year and 4 months into this, the doctor finally discovered the problem. Her lower dentures were caught in her throat.
Oh, my gosh.
They lodged there during her knee operation. So they didn't take her dentures out while she was laying on her back for the knee operation. Oh,
my gosh.
They fell down her throat.
And she didn't notice that she didn't have her teeth?
She did. Hoppy told her doctor, somebody lost my dentures while I was in the hospital. They noted it in the chart, but they didn't find them.
Didn't bother to...
Yeah.
Oh, my
It's
goodness.
like, my bottom dentures are gone. They're like, we'll keep an eye out for them. Well, they found them in her throat.
Oh,
Yikes.
my goodness.
That is crazy.
She's lucky she didn't choke
and
pass away.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Okay, Heidi's head's going to explode here.
Oh, boy.
We might be getting a little too politically correct. Manchester's Stockport College, as part of their Equal Opportunity Awareness program, is educating their staff on words they shouldn't use because they could be offensive. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you can't say that anymore because of their association with social classes. So you can no longer say ladies and gentlemen. It's like, hey, all yous. I don't know what you're supposed to say. Another word you can't say is mad or crazy or maniac. They've been ruled out as derogatory to people with mental health problems. I just don't understand that. Another one, you can no longer say this was a man-made lake, or you can't even say...
Because a woman might have been involved.
And you can't say this is a man-on-the-street interview because of the potential sexism.
Oh, my gosh.
And this is the one where Heidi's head's really going to explode. You can no longer even call it history because history stands for his story.
Oh, my gosh.
Is it going to be his or her story? I'm not exactly sure what You can't even say history at a college. This is Manchester's Stockport College. So they're going to be, the most brilliant morons out there. Because you can't even use words like history. Come on. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh,
all right. Coming up, we're going to talk about...
That just chaps my... That makes me so mad. How is it that we are at this place in our world today?
We're going to move on. We're going to talk about something...
So much for freedom of speech. That is ridiculous.
That happened in England. It wasn't even here. We're going to go to a happy place coming up in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at PoliticalStorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out PoliticalStorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. PoliticalStorm.com. That's PoliticalStorm.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Heidi's calmed down now. You better? You good over there?
How
many
fine.
Xanax did you just take? No, she didn't really. This program, there's no medication involved whatsoever, no alcohol involved whatsoever. I know it's hard to believe some days. Parents are getting clever about sneaking good foods into their kids' diet. This is kind of cool. Parents are getting pretty clever about getting nutritious foods into those children's mouths. And there's an entire collection of books and websites and forums dedicated to this pursuit. Here are some of the popular tricks. Baking low-sugar carrot bread. That sounds interesting. Have you ever had, carrot cake?
I've had carrot cake, but there's lots and lots of frosting on it. And lots of sugar in it.
Well, this would be like carrot cake, but it would be carrot bread.
But without the delicious goodness. So without the sugar.
It's all the same ingredients.
And without the frosting.
With half the fun. I don't know. Using a spiral cutter to turn zucchini into long pasta-like strands.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for me.
That'd be interesting. I've never had zucchini. Have I had zucchini? I think maybe we did when we were on that diet.
I think we did once, and we were like, that's not happening again.
I think it was good. I remember that stuff. Replacing mashed potatoes with pureed cauliflower.
That we've done.
We did that, and that really wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
It smelled really funny. I remember you were making it. I was like, what is going on in here? What kind of mad scientist concoction are you cooking up? And then when we ate it, I was like staring at my fork for the longest time, and then I ate some. I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And one of my favorite things that you did, this is not on the list here, but it was when you made like a chicken noodle soup and you replaced the noodles with cauliflower.
Yeah.
And that was really good.
That was really good, but it stunk up the whole house.
It did. Again, that cauliflower kind of
smelled
stinks
like
when
the
you cook
seven
it.
dwarves ate a whole carton of eggs and were farting in the kitchen.
Now, there's a memory that we all need in our heads. And the last thing is, I guess that was the last thing. I guess they have a website that has a lot of these tricks and tips on there. The Sneaky Chef is their site. So anyway,
yeah, there's
parents,
no being sneaky about baking cauliflower. Your kids are going to know.
Mom, did you make cauliflower again? No, the sewer's plugged up. Okay. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. I think today is no exception. We've got some good news, Heidi. An orphaned elk just wanted to be friends with everybody. At least that's what it seems. Yahoo News talks about Buttons, the orphaned elk. Buttons has been showing up in small community of Washington State since she was little. So when firefighters from Kittias County Fire District Number 7 showed up to fight a hill fire earlier this month, Buttons wanted to be a part of the effort. Firefighters said this elk just wandered into their command post with about 10 people there. They said, she doesn't leave you alone either. She's pretty insistent that she wants to be a part of the group. Aww. So they were trying to fight a fire, and Buttons the elk, who's been very friendly towards humans for years now, comes over and hangs out with them. And they're like, hey, we got to fight this fire. And Buttons is like, can I help somehow? What can I do? Can you hook a bucket on one of my antlers?
That's sweet.
I think it's kind of cool. I've got a link to this at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, so you can see more right there. That's just really neat. This morning, you and I were getting ready for the program, and you were looking at stuff on your Facebook page. And your Facebook is completely different than my Facebook.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
My Facebook is like, oh, it's a cute video of a puppy. Heidi's is like, hey, check this out. It's another politically motivated post. Mine's like, oh, wow, it's a sad story that made me cry. Heidi's is like, oh, you need to get out and vote for this person. I'm like, okay.
It's not only that. I have very offensive jokes on there as well.
Don't forget the offensive jokes.
Don't you pigeonhole me into one category. I'm offensive and political.
I was watching your Facebook. I'm like, what the what? But with your permission, I would like to share a video that did you even put this online? Our dog trying to bury her?
Yeah. Is it on my Facebook page.
I can't believe it. I mean, that doesn't fit on your Facebook page. How does
it
that
was
happen?
Adorable. You know what, though? Nobody really liked it. Everybody likes comments on my other stuff.
Yeah, you've got them conditioned. That would be like taking, something that's a great, feel-good, fun story and putting it on, some TV channel it's surrounded by UFC fights or something.
I post nice things often.
I'm gonna share that video on our Facebook page. It's so adorable. It's our puppy dog, and she's a special needs dog. And she's trying to bury dog food under our carpet.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize it's carpet, apparently. So she's using her nose to try to nudge carpet over and the carpet's not moving. It's just adorable. So she is one of our cute little puppies. If you want to see that, I'm going to share it. A cute puppy video. That ought to help. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful weekend.